Hey everybody, welcome to the September live Q&A. Thanks so much for joining me here. If you're seeing this on a replay, thanks so much for taking the time to watch. If you have any questions during the live, place them in the chat box with a Q colon in front of your question or in the comments section if you're watching the replay. I have 12 questions to cover today, and if you have any, I'll probably cover them in the next live. I want to give you an update on what Apple is doing. They recently released new iPhones, Apple Watches, iOS 16, and watchOS 9. There are lots of new features which I'll cover on my YouTube channel, and if you haven't updated yet, what are you waiting for? In October, Apple was expected to release iPadOS 16, and they've reflected that on their website that they're going to update in October. So we have that to look forward to. So that's all the updates I have for you right now. So let's go ahead and get started with the questions. All right. Question number one, what can I do if my iPhone or iPad is stolen? Well, let's talk about first whether it's lost or stolen. So what you want to do is make sure that you set up your device correctly so that you don't have to worry about that. That everything's set up so that you can find it if you do lose it or it is stolen. So let's go ahead and let me bring up my iPhone screen. Give it a second, it should pop up here. There we go. And let me come into the Settings app and tap on your name at the top and then select Find My. You want to make sure that the Find My toggle switch is turned on, and it usually is on by default, but just in case, check that. Also toggle on the Find My network because this lets you locate your phone even if it's offline. And then the last one is Send Last Location. So you want to have your iPhone, if the battery's draining, be able to send you the last location that it is. So that's the setup that you want to have. And so let's just say I have lost my iPhone, and it'll work the same way on your iPad. What you want to do is come into the Find My app. So I'm going to bring that up, and I'm going to open it. And you'll see a listing of all your devices. If you pull up on the gray bar at the top, you'll see a listing of all the devices that you own. And if I tap on that device, so we're going to say that my iPhone was stolen or lost. If I tap on that device, it should show me the location of where it is. If I pull up on the bar, you'll see that there's an option to mark as lost. And so if I tap on Activate, it'll run through a list of what's going to happen. So you'll be notified if it's found. It's going to lock up your iPhone so that no one else can use it. It's going to require that the person put in your Apple ID to access it. The iPhone's protected, so all of your payments and everything will be suspended. So if you have Apple Pay set up, that will all be suspended, and you don't have to worry about that. And it will leave a message on your device screen to tell that person how to get that phone back to you. So let's scroll down and we'll tap on Continue. Here, if you want to, you can put in a phone number of where that person can contact you. You don't have to, it's optional. So I'm going to go ahead and tap Next. Here you want to type in a message, I lost my iPhone, and you could put your email address in there, and the person will see that message on the lock screen. If I tap on next, you're not going to see anything because I didn't type anything in. And the toggle switch at the top, you'll be able to turn that on because once the phone is lost and Find My doesn't know its most recent location, you'll be able to toggle that switch on, and then you will be notified when it's found. The messages will appear there, so if you put a phone number and a message in, they will appear there, and you can toggle on receive email updates. And when you're done, you just want to hit activate. And the other option you have is that you might want to let the police know that either your phone was stolen or lost, because you really don't want to go get that phone if it was stolen and somebody else has it. You might want to notify the police and maybe they can help you with that. So that's what you would do if you lost or your iPhone was stolen. Okay. Question number 2. Is there a way to quickly access all of your open apps on the iPad? There is. So I'm going to come to an overhead shot of my iPad, and there's a couple of different ways that you can access the apps. You could slide up from the bottom halfway up the screen, and it'll bring you into the app switcher, and you can quickly just, scan your apps that are open. Or the other option is put 4 fingers on the screen and swipe. And once I do, sorry about that, it's not picking it up. So let me open. I'm going to go ahead and open an app. Once you have an app opened, it should have worked from the home screen, but I'm not sure why it's not. If you just start putting 4 fingers on the screen and swiping, you can swipe through all of your apps to see which apps are open. It used to be that Apple every once in a while told you that you needed to close all those applications, and you don't need to do that anymore. So let me come back into the app switcher where you can see all the apps. You don't need to close your apps all the time. They can remain open. But one of the things that you do want to do is if you have an app that's giving you problems that you're opening and maybe it's crashing all the time, what you want to do is just swipe it away so that it forces that app to reboot. So that was the Notes app. So if I tap on the Notes app, it just reboots that app and it opens it from the beginning. So that is how you can quickly access all of your open apps on the iPad. Question number 3. I know I shouldn't be using my device close to bedtime. Is there anything I can do to help with that? Absolutely. So we know that our screens emit this bright blue light, so you can see them even when it's really sunny outside. And at night, your brain gets confused by the light because it mimics the brightness of the sun. And because of this, the smartphone light can disrupt your sleep, making it harder to fall asleep or stay asleep, and could potentially, run into serious health problems. So this is where Nightshift comes in. So let me come back again to an overhead shot of my iPad, and I'm going to swipe up and come into the settings area, and I'm going to tap on display and brightness, and I'm going to scroll down to where it says Nightshift and tap on that. So you have a couple of options. You can schedule Nightshift, or you can enable it until tomorrow. So what does Nightshift do? It gives your screen a warmer look. So if I tap on manually turn on until tomorrow, you'll see that the screen became slightly more yellow. And if I bring that all the way up to more warm, you'll see that the screen is a lot more warm. If I take it all the way down to the end, you'll see that the screen is bluer. So what Nightshift does is it gives you that warm screen so that it doesn't affect your sleep as much. So I turn mine all the way up to more warm, and then I schedule this so I don't have to mess around with it. So I'm going to tap on schedule, and if I tap in that area, I have two options. I can do a custom schedule if I want, or I can just tap on sunset to sunrise, and the device will kick into Nightshift at sunset and will come out of Nightshift at sunrise. I like a custom schedule, so I have mine turn on very warm at 7 p.m. and then at 6 a.m. it turns itself off. And you can set this up on your iPhone and your iPad. It works the same way. You just need to go into the settings area. Okay. That, I believe, was question 3. Question number 4. Is there a quick way to access flight information? Yes. This is a really cool little trick that Apple has built in to the device or into the search area. So if I pull down on the screen, or in iOS 16, you'll see that there's a little search option right across above your bottom icons. It says search. If I tap on that, it opens up the Spotlight search. And as long as you have the flight number, you can use this. So I'm going to go ahead and type in a flight number. And you'll see that the flight appears at the top. And if I tap on that, it takes me to a page that shows me the status of the flight. So right now you can see that this flight is taxiing. It's on time. It's leaving from gate 25 in Newark and arriving at gate 12 in Pittsburgh. And so it gives you all the pertinent information that your party might need for your flight status. But the really cool feature is this. At the bottom, you'll see that you can tap on Safari to go to the United Airlines homepage. But if I tap on Open Maps, now it takes me into the Newark Liberty International Airport concourse area. And if I pull up on the gray bar, now I can check, the terminals, for food, drinks, shopping, restrooms. If I scroll down further, it tells me a little bit about the airport. It tells me things that I might need to know about parking and that type of thing. It also gives you a phone number for the airport, the website, and the address. I just think that this is a really cool feature that just by typing in your flight number, you can get all of this information. I'm going to come over to my overhead shot because you can also do this inside of the messages area. So if I open messages and somebody has sent you a flight number, if you push and hold on it, you'll see you can preview that flight. It doesn't give you as much information as it does if you type it into Spotlight search, but you get a decent amount of information there. So I hope if you didn't know this cool little trick, you do now. And really, I really like it. I think it's pretty cool. But Apple has changed it. So if you are on iOS 15.7, you may see a little bit of a different screen when you tap on. So if I come out of here and I come back, let me see if I can get back to, let me see if it'll let me come back to this. Yes, so if I come back to that page, On iOS 15.7, if you haven't updated to 16, and so probably on your iPad you haven't done that yet because it's not available, if you tap on the Open Maps, it'll give you two options. It'll give you a choice between which concourse you want to look at, whether you want to look at Newark or Pittsburgh. I'm not sure why they took that option away in iOS 16 because I really thought that was great. But anyway, that's how you can access flight information if you need it. All right. Question number 5. How can I title a note in the Notes app after it's already been created? So, give my iPad a chance to pop up here. There it is. If I come into the Notes app, and I'm going to go ahead and just take away the title of this, you'll see that the Notes app will recognize the first few words of your sentences to create a title. But if you want to add a specific title, all you have to do is place your cursor in front of the text, come down a few spaces, and then I'm just going to put in what I had before, and you'll see that it creates the title. Whatever you put in becomes the title because it just uses the first line of your note and the first few words of what you've typed in. So that's how to create a title in the Notes app. All right. Question number 6. Is there a way to quickly charge my iPhone? Yes. So if you've received iPhones or iPads before, they used to include a little adapter in there to charge your iPhone, and that was only a 5-watt charger. So what you want to do, and I have a picture, let me come into, I have on my website, I have an option for a 20-watt charger. So that's what you want to buy, the highest watt charger that your phone will accept. So like this one is for the iPhone 11, 12, and 13. Search for your iPhone, search for a charger that'll work for your iPhone, and pick up the highest wattage that you can, because that will charge your iPhone a little bit faster. The other option, another neat little trick, is if you come into the control center and you turn on airplane mode, you'll see that it immediately shuts off Wi-Fi. It will also shut off cellular if you're on your phone, and that will slightly charge your device faster by just turning Wi-Fi and cellular off. And then you just need to remember to come back in once your phone is charged enough for you to use it. Come back in and turn off airplane mode. So those are 2 ways that you can increase the speed of charging. Question number 7. What is Wi-Fi calling and how do I enable it? So Wi-Fi calling is exactly what it says. It enables you to make a phone call over Wi-Fi. Why would you want to do that? Well, really, the biggest reason for that would be if you're in an area that has poor cellular connection. So I leave Wi-Fi calling on all of the time. And let me show you how to set it up. I'm going to tap on Settings. I'm going to come into Cellular, and then I'm going to choose Wi-Fi calling. make sure to turn Wi-Fi calling on. And if it's the first time that you're doing this, it's going to ask you to put in your address, and you want to put in the address where you're located at the time. So if you're at home, you would put in your home address. But what if you're on vacation or you're out of the country? That's really the best time to use Wi-Fi calling, because that way your cellular bill won't get hit with large amounts of data or phone calls by using Wi-Fi calling. But you will need to update your emergency address when you do that. You want to put the address in of where you're located, because that's how you're going to use the 911 cell phone, to make an emergency call. So what happens is when you type in 911, it's going to be routed to the correct EMS provider based on what the address is that you put in. So that's how you can turn on Wi-Fi calling and why you would want to do that. Question number 8. How can I add a profile pic to my text messages? So if I open up the Messages app and I tap on Edit and I select Edit Name and Photo, it'll bring you into the settings area where you can go ahead, choose Name and Photo. And so the first page you come to, it gives you some options. You can use an emoji, a picture that's on your phone, your initials, and then if I tap on the More icon, the circle with 3 dots, now you get more options. You can select the emoji that you want to use. You could use icons if you want. As you can see, mine is my picture, and so that's how you can change your profile picture in your text messages, so that's what people see instead of just your initials or a grayed out profile picture. Oh, I didn't show it to you, did I? My fault. Let me come back to that. Sorry about that. So what you want to do is come into the Settings app. You will, let me come out of that. You'll come into the Settings app, tap on Edit, tap on Edit Name and Photo, choose Name and Photo. Here it'll show you your profile pic. Sorry about that. Tap on More. You'll get more options where you can take a picture, use an image, or an initial. You'll see that mine is just my picture. When you're finished, tap on Done, and you're finished. And then you'll have a profile pic. Sorry about that. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. So let me hit cancel, but that's how you change your profile pic in the text messaging app. Question number 9. I have a hard time unlocking my iPhone. Is there an easier way? Yes. So if we come into the iPhone, and I want to select Settings because I want to make sure that this is set up correctly. You're going to use Siri for this. So I'm going to open Settings. I'm going to come back to the main Settings page, and I'm going to choose Siri and Search. And then the toggle switches you want to make sure you have turned on are the first one, and I'm not going to say it because it'll automatically access Siri. And you want to make sure that you have Allow Siri when locked turned on. So if I come out of here and I lock my phone and I tap on it so you can see it, and I say, "Hey Siri, open home screen." Automatically Siri uses Face ID to open the home screen. I never have to touch it. So if you're having a hard time, try that. Turn those settings on and go ahead and try to use Siri to open your home screen. It works really, really well, but that should help you unlock your phone. Question number 10. Is there a way to permanently delete photos on the iPad, iPhone, and Mac all at the same time? Absolutely. So if I come in, I'm going to go ahead to my iPad this time so you can see it here. And if I open up the Photos app, so if you have all of your photos stored on the Photos app, this makes it really easy. But if you have your photos stored somewhere else, then you're likely not going to be able to use this technique. But if your photos are stored in the Photos app, you can come in and all you need to do is tap on Select in the upper right corner and select the photos that you want to delete. Tap on the trash can at the bottom and remove from album or delete. So if I tap on delete, it's going to remind me these photos will be deleted from iCloud Photos on all of your devices. So you want to make sure that you know that that's exactly what you want to do, that you want to delete these photos. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because I don't want to delete them. But if you were to accidentally delete something, you can come in to, let me find the albums here. There should be a recently deleted. So you have 30 days from the time you delete a photo to recover it if necessary. So if I tap on recently deleted, you'll see that there's photos here. And if I select them and I tap on recover and then tap recover those two photos, those photos will go back into the photos library. And Apple even puts the number of days that the photos have been in here. So this way you can see when those photos will be deleted. So that's how you delete photos from the Photos app. Question number 11. What is Spotlight Search and what can I use it for? Spotlight Search is a really great feature, and if you're not using it, you really should give it a try. If I pull down on my screen or tap on the search, I come into Spotlight Search. If I just type in dog, you're going to see that Siri is going to suggest websites for me to tap on. It's going to suggest what I can search for. It's going to give me suggested websites. It's going to go into my Photos app and find all of the photos that I have with dogs. So I can tap on Show More and I'll see more photos. If I scroll down further, it looks for news articles that mention dogs. It gives you the dictionary of dog. It gives you Siri knowledge, and then it allows you to search in apps, in messages, in music. I really think that Spotlight Search is one of the best features on the iPhone and iPad. So really give it a try, and I think you'll find it very, very useful. And the last question, are there viewing options inside the Photos app? Yes. So now let me open the Photos app on my iPhone. And you can see that I'm inside of an album. And if I select the More icon, the circle with 3 dots, you're going to get a listing of options. And my favorite one is this aspect ratio grid. If I select that, you'll see that the photos are shown in the aspect ratio of which they were taken. So these photos at the very top were taken with a DSLR, and so you can tell that. If I scroll down, you can see that this was taken with the iPhone in landscape mode instead of straight up and down. It also separates your photos a little, and you can do this in the library. You can go in and set this up. I just didn't want to show all my pictures on a live stream, but you can go in and do the same thing in the whole photo library. Just tap on the 3 dots at the top, and you'll get some options where if I tap on zoom in, it zooms in on the middle photo, and then you can scroll through while you're zoomed in on photos. Let me tap back out of that. You can also come in to show map, and it's going to show you where all those photos were taken. If I come back in here, you can go back to the square photo grid if you want, where you see all of your pictures just in a square photo grid. But I love this option to be able to come in and change this to aspect ratio. So sometimes if I'm working on something, I'll come in just to change it because it separates the photos. It makes it easier for me to find them. So I hope that is useful for some of you. So that's all of the questions I received this month. I'm sorry about, let me come back to the full screen. Sorry about not showing you a part of that and having to go back, but mistakes happen, and that occasionally happens when you're on a live stream. So, you know, when I video record it, I can cut it out and go back, but on a live stream, I don't have that option. But I appreciate you being here. If you're watching this on replay, thanks for watching it. And I'll end as always. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.